Hello and welcome to the first part of Shadowrun Hong Kong bonus campaign episode of Blind Playthrough. So, and previous playthrough we have completed the main story and now it's time for another new game, but this time with this bonus mission. So let's go and see what we will find there. Your current global difficulty is normal. Easy difficulties for new players. Normal difficulty provides a balanced combat experience. Hard difficulties for players returning for a second playthrough or looking for a technical challenge. Note, this difficulty second may apply to all Hong Kong and user created content that you play. You can change your difficulty setting below or at any time from the main menu. Okay, so let's take the normal route. You accompanied Isabel to DECCON 2056. You defeated Kiania, although Raymond sacrificed himself to banish her permanently. You recovered Rector's drone self-repair technology, and he implemented it into Koschei. You spoke with Rector at length and earned his trust. You invited Rector to join your team of Shadowrunners. You prevented Gaichu's death at the hands of the Wampuan elders and invited him to join your team. You helped Gubert defeat the Red King, saving Cadmus and the others who retook the ship, and you chose to aid Gaichu in his fight against his old team, but did not let him turn Ishida into a goal. Rude awakening. Something is wrong. The last thing that you remember, it was the night of the Kowloon City riots. You and your team were running an errand for Kindly Cheng, recovering an object before the inevitable police response turned the city upside down. Everything was going well, you had the item in hand, and then nothing. The world went black. A sudden explosion of pain behind your eyes jolts you back to the present. A nightmarish succession of dream images flicker through your consciousness like a strobe light. A man with a pockmarked face, slim fingers playing over the surface of your brain, leaving a slug's trail of agony in their wake. A second figure whose face you couldn't see, digging with relish through the scraps of memory that your tormentor left behind. It was a rough night, and now, as your eyes snap open and adjust to the light, you find yourself in a reality that is little more comforting. A single bulb hangs from a corrugated steel roof. The dim light that is cast is barely enough to illuminate the table in front of you. Your head throbs in time with your heartbeat, and each pulse gives rise to a low, grinding, stomach-churning discomfort. Heavy weights on your wrists tell you that you're being handcuffed. Try to clear your head. You squeeze your eyes shut and count to 10. The pain in your head slowly dissipates, and your vision gradually swims back into focus. There is a rack on your lap, an old dishcloth matted with congealed blood. The dull ache that radiates from the bridge of your nose up and in your sinuses tells you where it came from. Examine your surroundings. The room is dark, far too dark for you to make out its dimensions. All that you can see with any clarity are your own lap and the table in front of you. Try to focus. Squinting, you try to focus on the hazy objects in the distance. A searing jolt of pain is your reward. With the pain comes a dream image, branded into your memory with crystal clarity. The first of your tormentors, the man with the pockmarked face. For a few torturous seconds, the image swims through your head, wriggling like an eel. Then, as suddenly as it came, the pain dissipates, fading away until it's swallowed by the relentless ache that drops between your temples. In the distance, you can hear the pop hiss of a pneumatic door unlatching and sliding open. An enormous figure steps into the room, and the door slides shut behind him. You can just barely make out the silhouette of the troll standing across the table from you. Your other senses work to fill in the blanks. He's got a heavy build, the floor creaks every time he shifts his weight. The rustle of fabric overhead, sharp keratin tells you that he has prominent dermal deposits. He is also wearing way too much cologne. From the chest up, the darkness swallows him. You can't see his face. Say nothing. The room remains silent as he busies himself arranging objects on the table in front of him. A notepad, a mug of Soikev, and a ballpoint pen, an audio recorder. Finally, he looks up from the objects and focuses on you. Good morning, Mr. Mamulian. The words roll in his throat like rocks in a tumbler. How are you feeling today? Do you sleep well? Oh, I slept like a baby. This chair is cozier than it looks. He chuckles. Yeah, I'll bet. Glad to hear that you're keeping your spirits up. Sorry about the nosebleed, by the way. It's a common side effect of magical interrogation. Shouldn't cause you any more trouble. I'm thinking that when we're finished here, I'll tie you to a chair and experiment on your brain. Sounds fair to me. You're upset, I get that, but threatening me isn't going to help. He lifts the mug out of the light and allows his lips. You hear a long, loud slurp as he slugs the steaming fluid down. For the record, the mage who worked on you did his best to be gentle. He's good at what he does, uses a light touch. Not he, them. 2 of your people went to work on my head last night. He pauses a moment, considering, then shrugs. Afraid you're wrong about that. There couldn't have been anyone else. Your pal with the skin condition didn't mess up my nose. It was the other one, the second mage. I couldn't see a face. He shrugs. Must be a figment of your imagination. It happens sometimes. The brain invents details to try hard and make sense of what's happening to it. Get it a few days, and the confusion should fade away. You'll see. Somehow, I don't find your argument very convincing. We don't even have 2 mages on side, Memu. There's no way that you got scanned twice. He shrugs his broad shoulders. But hey, believe what you want. Don't let it distract you though. We've got work to do. Now, let's get to it, shall we? He shuffles his papers, flips open the notebook on the table with the flip of his pen. Run me through what happened last night. What was the point of the mind probe if you're gonna interrogate me anyway? Magic is great for pulling facts from a person's memory. It isn't so good at contextualizing them. What we got from you was a jumble of disorganized information. I'd take a lot of guesswork on our part to piece those facts together into a coherent narrative. You cooperate with us, tell us the story as you remember it, and you can spare us some of that work. That will be good for you in the long term. If you lie to me though, well, just don't. I'll know it. No, if you please, tell me what happened last night. Just start at the beginning and take me through it until the moment that we picked you up. Not until I know what happens to the rest of my team. We've got them. They're fine. You can see them after you told us what we want to know. Say nothing. After a long pause, the troll sighs. He lifts his notepad and begins to rifle through the pages. Alright, if you don't want to start, I'll go ahead and do it for you. We made some headway in piecing together our mage intel on the earlier part of the evening. You were headed to combat Pangs, the biker bar, at the behest of your fixer, kindly Cheng. Cheng is a respected figure in the Yellow Lotus Triad. Cheng sent you to the Pangs because he had something that you wanted. He lowers the notepad and focuses on you. And you see, talking to us isn't squealing. We already have all of the intel we need, but it would be much more efficient if you would fill in the blanks. All that you're doing by clumping us is wasting time. You're doing just great on your own. He lets out a heavy sigh. I did tell you that we picked up your friends too, right? They're safe and sound in our hands, for now at least. If you refuse to help us, I can't promise that they'll stay that way. I knew it. It was just a matter of time before you resorted to threats. It isn't my call. I'm not in charge here. I'm just a man doing a job. The best way that you can help your friends is by cooperating. If we already have everything we need, there won't be any reason for some higher up to take rash action. I'll deal with you and your higher ups later. For now, I'll tell you what you want to hear. Good. And for that's what it's worth, I'm sorry. For now, please do your best to pick up where I left off. You were headed to combat Spanx. Cheng had sent you there to conduct some sort of takedown. The owner of the bar had something that didn't belong to him. Outie Cheng sent us to get it back. Right, the artifact. He glances at the notebook on the table. Says here that it was a jade conch from the Liangzhu period, dated back to 3000 BC, or thereabouts. That's right, Peng stole it because he thought that it was magical. Turns out, it was just old. Old mage confirmed as much. Oh, we've got your boss skunk locked up for safekeeping, by the way. It's in good hands with us. No, we know that you didn't go to Peng's alone. One at a time. Could you please list the other members of your team? Seriously, how can you not know that already? Just answer the question, please. He taps the recorder with the tip of his pen. For our records. Go bet she had heard that Combat Pangs had a really good bar food. You bet the girl with the rodent fixation. He jots down a note on his pad. Okay, and who else? Ractor was there, watching my back. The rigger, creepy son of a bitch. Another scribbled note. Alright, got it. And who was the last member of your team? Oh, come on, man. You already know this. Don't you have the others in holding somewhere? Just answer the question. Duncan. He took point on the run. The ex-cop. Nothing I hate more than a good guy gone bad. Dependencies over the pet final time. Then stops. Your interrogator glances up at you. Alright, so Chen sent the group of you to combat Panks to recover a very old rock. And she sent you on the eve of one of the bloodiest raids in Kowloon city history. Funny timing, don't you think? The Pank stole from Kindly Cheng. We were being paid to make him regret the decision. Riot or no riot. The distant sounds of urban chaos rang in your ears as you led your team through a series of constrictive back alleys. It was hot out, sweltering, and the humidity left your body drenched. A bad night for a riot, but it made a good cover. You'd been making good time since you left here, and Combat Panks was only a few blocks away. We're getting close. Her nostril flared as she sniffed the air. Smell that? Garlic, onion, sizzling oil. I'm thinking chicken wings. How you're getting any of that over the smoke and the tear gas is beyond me. You're right about one thing though. We're getting close. And that means that we need to keep our guard up. I hear that. His head popped in agreement. Good. I've heard stories about the GOG gangs that peg runs. The 888s, the Black Sun Boys, the Grinders, packs of animals in the leather jackets of all of them, and they like to let their knives to do the talking. Chicken wings, gun show, focus. The guy that Pank is working the grill is supposed to be like some kind of kitchen wizard. He caramelizes the wings in fish sauce. That's what the guy at the bus stop told me. I mean, how amazing is that? We get the rook first. If any of the kitchen staff are still alive when we're finished, then maybe we can eat. Your priorities are alien to me, but whatever. We'll figure it out when we get there. Deal. Let's get moving. She nods. Go ahead. Lead the way. Objectives: go to combat Panks and retrieve the cylinder for Kindly. Okay, nothing this way. Come on, man, hurry up. Two figures in dirty riding leather stood facing the shop window. The patches sewn to the backs of their jackets called them out as members of the Black Sun Boys, a small-time outfit, one of a dozen in the neighborhood that all operated under the supervision of Eddie Combat Pank. The window was unbroken, but not from their lack of trying. You could see a half of a dozen indentation in the transplast, and as many spent shell casing on the ground. The troll was working on an access panel, trying to brute force his way through the shop's security system. His human companion rocked on his heels, practically salivating over whatever was locked inside. Must be the last unbroken window on this block. Quite a price for a looter with ambition. Duncan smirked at the two, shook his head. If the owner of that shop invested in transplus windows, the building's probably alarmed. Might even have automated defenses. A pop turret or two, say. If these two trip building alarm, that could bring a security team right to this spot. Riots or no riots. Bingo. He examined them, frowning. These idiots look like they've been out here for a while. They might be able to tell us about the police presence up ahead, if we could get them to talk to us. Otherwise, I'd suggest just leaving them be. Your call, one way or the other. Approach the gangers. The human ganger turned on his heels, spinning to face you, an exaggerated frenetic motion. He was probably riding a creme high. He snarled at you through a mouthful of crooked teeth. Hey strangers, this is our LA. Black Sun Boys turf, not a place for tourists. You scoot your narrow asses back off of this block and out of our sight, or I'll make you sorry you were born. Easy, we're not looking for trouble. Got a question for you though. What do I look like? Goddamn news facts? Can't you see that we're busy? He turns his head and spits. An enormous glob of phlegm spatters against the asphalt. All this ash in the air, it's fucking up in my sinuses. Got me in a bad mood. No, back away before I break your nose. Yeah, you're busy, but I'll bet that you know if there are any cops up ahead. Am I right? His eyes narrowed. Yeah, I might. What finding out be worth too? Didn't I pick the Shadowrunner? Etiquette? Ah, okay. Produce your cred stick win 100 yuan. How's 100 yuan sound? He reaches for your cred stick, an ugly smile spreading across his face. Swiping it out of your hand, he tucked the stick away in a pocket. Yeah, there are cops in the area. They're real trigger happy too. Lots of shooting and not many questions. You'll find a whole pack of them just around the corner, led by one of those special duties assholes. My advice, you'll get out of this LA and indoors, and you'll do it fast. Walk away. I'll take it under advisement. Best of luck with the door. The looter stared at you as you turned away, his mouth curled into a frown. Eventually, he turned back to watch his companion struggle with the door panel. Okay, so let's check what etiquettes do I have. Do I remember it wrongly, or one was academic and the second one should have been Shadowrunner, if I remember correctly. But whatever. Let's go. Some bodies. The bodies had been reduced to a bloody rind. Their mouths were frozen open in expression of silent terror. Your team gathered to examine the remains. These people were shot in the back. I don't see any weapons on them either. Somebody gunned them down while they were trying to run away. But nice to go wandering, speaking of which. Right, let's get to Banks. We don't want to stay out here any longer than we have to. Stay where you are. The HKPF patrol stared you down, their weapons held at the ready. In the center of the pack, a man in heavy tactical armor loomed over the others. The plates of his armor were emblazoned with the regalia of Hong Kong's elite special duties unit. One of the cops cupped his hands to his mouth and barked out a command. "Hey, you! Stop moving and put your hands in the air." Tough words, but he sounded nervous. There are a couple of gangers trying to break into a store just around the corner. If you hurry, you can still catch them. The cop blinked confusedly, then half turned to the SDU officer at his side. "Sir, should we investigate the SDU officer cut in. His speech was slow and languid. He sounded vaguely bored. "Later, Constable. We'll catch the looters when we're done here. But look at this man's clothes, his gear. These people are armed criminals, and they're breaking curfew. You have your orders." "Oh there, let's just talk about this, alright?" The big man growled into his throat, making his amplified voice reverberating through the claustrophobic confines of the elevator. "Open fire!" Not nice. So let's start up Koshchei. And let's use it this way. Missed. Woohoo. Only 5 damage, not much. And you... let's try this. Ouch, 24 damage. Not very good idea to run there like a funny guy, but no, not this. I'll hasten my move, but first thing first. Okay, the first one is down. And Koshchei. 14 damage. Let's shoot at him. Nice. Let's hide here. When Rector hits, it's pretty high damage. Unlike Koshchei. Oh shoot. 20 damage. I'll probably have to get the sniper. Okay, Rector. Make him better to hit. Missed. Okay. Very bad. Not enough AP. Okay, what about you? One more down. Let's try. Only 6 damage. And Memo. $24 damage. 23, and let's hide behind the car. The Rector. Missed, of course. There is still one more. Still not enough AP. Missed. Another one. At least I hit him. Combat. Good. Not so good, but let's go here. Oh my, oh my. Okay, let's do it this way. Missed. Do we have already? Yes, we have. My oh my. You are missing a lot to the crochet. And finished. Damaged Polyscom link, so let's pick it up. Mission item added. Damaged Polyscom link. Without warning, the correct and bloody com link that you pulled off the body of the SDU officer corrected to life. A second later, a cold voice purred through the device speaker. Constables, this is great. It's her, the cop on all the newscasts when the APB Honest went live. She set up the ambush that killed Carter and fucked up our lives. I want all units to move into position and sound off. You will then hold action until I say otherwise. We will put this riot down and restore this city to order. Gee, that sounded ominous. You know, Mamu, this whole riot is a response to police brutality in Kowloon City. I think that maybe we should get off the streets before riot makes that call. Let's keep moving then. We'll try to keep the distractions to a minimum. Good call. Even we could handle whatever Kraid is planning. Kindly isn't paying us to kill cops. I mean, it's your call, but Peng's bar is right around the corner. I'd suggest that we just beeline in there. Okay. Reactor. Activate on memo. Good. I will have to watch a little bit better next time. Looks like these are hitting like a truck much more than the main campaign. Okay, this is HKPF. This block was harder to hit by the riots than others you've been through. The air had been churned into a noxious slurry of soot, ash and tear gas. It was stomach-churning beyond foul. Through the haze you could see a patrol squad of HKPF constables facing off against a man and a woman in shabby winter coats. The man was doubled over coughing, clutching a loaf of bread in one hand and cheap pocket knife in the other. The woman was holding a small crowbar frozen like a deer and the headlights. Both were clearly terrified. A half dozen laser dots played over their bodies, projected from the sides of the constable's weapons. Drop your weapons. Get on your knees. Do it now. The knife hit the ground, clattering to a rest on the asphalt. Please, our house burned down in the riots. We just needed water and food. We aren't looters. We just need to eat. Rector leaned in to whisper into your ear. I don't believe that they can see us through the smoke, but if we get too close, we'll be in the same boat as those poor fools. Best to leave them to their fate and slip around the police. Give them a wide berth and get on with our evening. The SDU sergeant's voice boomed out over integrated speakers in his tactical armor. On your knees. This is your last warning. Let's wait. Please, you're not listening. We had no choice. His voice trembled, and he held off the loaf of bread out of the constables to see the flimsy plastic that wraps its shimmers and the lamplight. I've dropped the knife. We don't have any guns. This is just a loaf of bread. The SDU mage amplifier's voice rolled lazily out of his speakers. He's got a woman, men. Kill them both. Attack the constables. I've heard enough. The constables wheeled at the sound of your voice, but you were faster than they were. You caught them flat-footed. Okay, so let's finish the mage first. Let's do it this way. %, 95, and 20. Nice. And I still have one shot. Let's get at the grenadier. You... go here. And you go here. Okay, let's see if I can summon the spirit. Yeah? Conjurer. Anyone can see him? Yes. Hopefully. Line of sight blocked. 10 damage. Let's do the fireball on 3 of us. 3 of them. And still he has some HP. Okay, let's try this way. Missed. And you... Nice, the conjurer is down. And Mr. Rector missed. Good. You there. Take him out! Those must be the hostiles. Okay, one more down, and... what you can do. Oh, missed. Great. And another one down. Healing you. You there. Missed. Wow. Let's get here then. %66%. Not great. Well, let's go here. Only 2 damage. Woohoo. And go bet. Where to go? Not nice. But let's do it this way. Again missed. Okay, the group is down. So let's talk to the frightened resident. The civilians blink up at you, their faces ashen. The man still hugs his stolen loaf of bread. In his terror, he's crushed it into an hourglass shape. We're alive. Oh, thank God. We're still alive. We've seen the police do brutal things here before, but nothing like this. They were going to kill us. Kill us over 3 yuan's worth of bread. Listen to me, the cops are locking this entire area down. You need to get out of here and off of the street. You don't have to tell us twice. Come on, love, let's find a place to hide until this blows over. Okay, they are away, so let's see if we can find anything here in Big LA. A flashbang grenade. You never know. The police comlink correct to life again. Great. All teams, ready your weapons and prepare for my mark. Do not, I repeat, do not move before you are instructed to. Anyone who fails to obey this command will answer to me. Awaits my instructions. Great, out. Let's talk to the resident. A group of middle-aged people in shabby clothing were gathered in the street, huddled together and clutching their possessions. They were wide-eyed, staring, some obviously in shock. The riots have taken their toll. A man with a patchy beard, the leader of the group, by the looks of the things, leaned forward, his eyes shifting from one member of the congregation to the next. His voice was low and urgent, his tone serious. "Look, we can't stay here. Let's gather whatever we can carry, go to the barricades at the edge of the town and show the cops our IDs. Once we can prove that we live here and that we're unarmed, they'll let us through. That's the plan." "If you want to run, go the way that I came, toward Hioi. You'll be safe there." "Hioi? That place is owned by criminals. We look like a bunch of killers to you?" "No, man. We need to go to the Central District or Victoria Harbor. Maybe. Someplace corp-controlled. There are no riots there. No dangerous people. We'll be safe." "You honestly think that the cops and the barricades will let you through to the rich part of the island?" "It's worth a shot. Better than hanging around here and waiting to get robbed, or shot, or kicked to death. I don't like the HKPF any more than anybody else, but I'll take my chances with them over the rioters any day." "You can't trust the police. If you go to them, you're going to regret it. They're cops. I like our odds better with them than I do with the people out here on the street." He turned his head towards the others. "If you need anything from your home, clothes, heirlooms, valuables, yo, get them, and be quick about it. We'll meet back up in here. We'll meet back up here in 10 minutes, and then we're headed for the barricade. We're getting out of this death trap." "Well, if you wish so." Combat banks. The only way to go further. A lanky man in a skin-tight vest leered at you as you entered the bar. He looked like a low-level go-ganger dressed in black sunboy colors. He stepped out in front of you to block your progress. "Bar's closed. No on orders of the boss." He pointed at the door that you walked in through. "Step on out here. Now." "I'm not going anywhere until I've had a word with your boss." He shook his head, defiance in his eyes. "No way. You don't talk to Combat Bank. You talk to me, and I'm about out of patience with—" "You're out of your league, son. I'm here on behalf of the Yellow Lotus." He took a moment to size you up, really examine you, and the bravado disappeared. Hey, I don't wanna..." He looked back over his shoulder towards the bar. "Boss?" A low voice growled out from beside the bar. "Fuck me sideways, Jimmy. Have I got to do everything myself around here? What do I even keep you around for?" Eddie Combat Bank, the owner of Combat Banks and a ringleader of a half-dozen Kowloon City-Go gangs, the Black Sun Boys included. He leered at you through a mouthful of gold-capped teeth. Bank was a living stereotype, the surly dwarf in the flesh, 10 tons of Napoleon complex in a 70-kilo body. "All right, you want to listen to my boy? Maybe you listen to me. We are closed. And if you wanna keep all of your fucking teeth, you'll turn around and go the way you came." "No way. No way, man. You reopen that kitchen and you do it now. We're here for wings, and..." Business, Gobet. We're here on business. And we're also here for business, right? Business and chicken. That's what we're about. He rubbed his fingers against the bar, an innocuous gesture, but it set alarm bells ringing in your head. All around you, gangers started shifting into ready positions, their smile growing ugly, hands creeping toward holsters. From somewhere in the back of the room, you heard an ominous sound, heavy footsteps and a scrape of something metal against the floorboards. Peng's glittering smile widened. Yeah, and what kind of business are we talking about? You first. Tell me about the Kong you lifted. What's a man like you want with a Neolithic artifact anyway? What business is it of yours? His mouth dips into a frown. He holds the expression for a few seconds, then shakes his head. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and answer that for you. It's none of your fucking business. The rock belongs to me now. End of story. You wanna bet? The stone is kindly Cheng's, and you've stolen it. I'm here to get it back. He began to chuckle, an ugly sound thick with malice. I don't think so, run boy. You're standing in my home right now. See all these people around you? They're my friends, and they don't take kindly to strangers who come in here trying to throw their weight around. Security. The alleyways outside are crawling with cops, and they're preparing for something big. You sure will want to gunfire in here? If they hear it, they'll have to investigate. Yeah, and wouldn't that be a terrible? We certainly don't want any trouble with the police. Course, you'd be that so. He spreads his hands with a smile. More shifting from the assembled gangers in the bar. Some of them looked angry, ready to start shooting and cutting, but others were clearly concerned. Kindly Cheng's name carried a lot of weight in Kowloon City, and everybody knew the Yellow Lotus. The shift wasn't difficult for you to see. Peng could see it too. Tell you what, I'm in a generous mood tonight, and I don't really need the rock for anything. Sounds like Cheng's got you in a bind, and you're gonna be in trouble with her if you don't bring it back tonight. So, I'll sell it to you. Give me, say, 500 yuan, and I'll have my boys box it up. 500 it's some change. Why let it go so cheap? I only took the damn thing because I thought that it might be magical. Something that old carved out of jade with a golden inlay. Well, you hear stories. Tell me about it. Anyway, fuck if I could figure out how to make the damned thing work. For as I'm concerned, it might as well be a paperweight. I could fence it, sure, but that would raise questions. There aren't many of these things around, so I'm willing to get it to go cheap, but I'm gonna charge you something. If I just gave it to you, what kind of precedent would it set? Pay the bribe. Done. You tossed him your cred stick. He swiped it, then threw it back with an ugly smile. It's in a cubbyhole behind the bar. Go on, take the thing and get out. More trouble than it is worth anyway. Objective complete. Okay, let's see around here. Shame, nothing else with the exception of the Jade Kong. Objective complete. Take the MTR back to here. New objective. Seems like an awful waste, all of this trouble over a stupid hunk of rock. It's Cheng's rock, that's all that we have to know. We'd better get moving. Something metallic hit the ground at your feet, cutting you short. A canister of some kind. You didn't even hear where it came from. By the time that you could process what was happening, it was too late. The metal tube erupted, spraying out a hissing stream of concentrated vapor. In the distance, you could see a group of figures wearing gas masks. Not rear control cops and not SDU, but official-looking, wearing red uniforms. They were already moving in, beelining in your direction. Hold your breath. You sealed your lips shut, but the vapor crawled up your nostrils anyway. It was sharp, with a chemical tang that you could taste in the back of your throat. It made your eyes burn and filled your mouth with saliva. You stumbled forward, struggling to right yourself. It was a lost cause. The world went black. And that's it for today's first episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition bonus campaign. We ended up in some interrogation cell and being interrogated, and we're talking about our last mission before that happened, but for now we'll have to wait a little bit what will happen next. Anyway, if you enjoyed the stream, feel free to hit that follow button or subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon, and enjoy the rest of your day.